Hey guys, it's Gizmo Joe, and I'm back with another Android TV box. This guy is the Alfawise S95 Android TV box. As you can see, the packaging has literally or very, very little information on it. The little sticker here says that it's got 2 gigabytes of RAM and 16 gigabytes of storage, but that's about it. Smart Your Life and a funky little animal claw sort of thing, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, box, pretty nondescript. You can see the model number there, S95, but it is the Alfawise S95 Android TV box. Now, this guy is available on GearBest.com. You can purchase him if you think this one's right up your alley in the description below. I'll leave a link. But let's get to the unboxing. So, alright, okay, so there's the little box itself. We got a new friend. Watch us now, receive our news. So basically, it's kind of advertising that it's got all this social media aspect to it, which, I mean, you know, it's an Android box, so I'd imagine you'd be able to install all of those. So the box itself is pretty plain. It's just black. It does have this kind of shiny border around the edges here. Now, the front of the box here actually displays the time, which I thought was pretty cool. On the side here, you have 2 USBs. You got a micro SD card slot there. That's up to 32 gig. And so let's see here, you have your, looks like external speakers. You actually have an optical out, so if you have a sound bar or something like that, you'll be able to hook this guy up. You have your Ethernet port, RJ45, depending on what you prefer to call it. You got your HDMI, that's a standard one, and just your power port there. On the other side of the box, there is nothing. Now this guy doesn't really have, it's got some grippy plastic here, but it doesn't have, you know, rubberized feet, which, I mean, isn't a deal breaker for me, but I would have liked to see that. Anyway, pretty smart looking box, just very plain. So if you're into plain looking boxes, I know some of them can look quite gaudy. This might be the one to go with. So anyway, let's go with the rest of it. Let's see what else is in here. Okay, so you have your power brick. Looks like they give you a US one. I'm in Australia, so they did supply me with a Australian plug adapter, so that's always nice. Just got a standard HDMI cable, so nothing fancy there. It looks like we have a very bare bones manual, basically just tells you what goes in what port, and the remote. Now the remote is interesting because it's a little different to the ones that I'm normally used to. Normally when you buy these cheaper Android TV boxes, they always have the same remote, and they're terrible. The range on them is awful, and they're just not very accurate. This one, I mean, it doesn't feel all that much different. It's just plastic. Looks like it takes a couple AAAs there. But this one's interesting because it has that little mouse button down at the bottom, which leads me to believe that this might be an air mouse. I'll have to test it and find out, but you get your volume, your home, your menu, your back, navigation buttons. It actually feels pretty decent, I have to admit. It's definitely a step up from some of the other cheaper remotes I've seen. But anyway, that's it for the unboxing. So again, very, very plain packaging. Just comes with your standard accessories. The remote I'm interested in. I'm curious to see how that one performs. The box itself is very plain, has your standard kind of ports. The only thing that's interesting on this one is that it definitely has that optical out, which is really cool because you can hook up your better hi-fi sound system or whatever. Anyway, stick around. I'm going to hook this guy up to my TV. I'm going to run Kodi on him. I'm going to see how everything plays out. I'm going to test X265 and all that good stuff. So stick around. I'll be back with the full review of the Alfawise S95 Android TV box in just a minute. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I've hooked up the Alfawise S95 Android TV box up to my TV, and I underwent some initial setup. I hooked it up to my Wi-Fi, no problem. Got all the time and date settings all squared away, and I'm ready to dive into it with you. First thing I want to mention is the remote that comes with it. I know it's kind of hard to see because my camera setup at the moment is less than stellar, But this is the remote that came with it. I said before in the first part of the video that I was interested because I had that little air mouse button on there. I can't seem to get the air mouse function to work, if it even exists on this particular remote. I don't know. The remote itself is pretty useless. So even though it looks a little bit different to the ones that we've seen in the past, it does not function very well. So therefore, I have gone to use my Air Mouse remote that I did a previous review on, which is absolutely fantastic. Highly recommend if you're curious about this particular remote. There is another video that I've done on it. Anyway, let's get back to the TV box. So as you can see, it has this kind of launcher setup, which is typical amongst the Android TV boxes. This one's a little I don't know how to describe it, kind of plain. It's not as flashy as some of the others. That doesn't really bother me. But it does come with, the Google Play Store already pre-installed, the YouTube app. Looks like it's got Chrome. If we click into apps, let's see, it's probably got some other stuff. So yes, it's got Netflix already pre-installed, but not too much bloatware. It just seems like, some of your standard apps. Now, I think you'll notice that it says Kodi there. I sideloaded that myself. So it came with some forked version of Kodi. I hate the forked version ones because they always come with all these add-ons pre-installed, and you just don't know the legitimacy of these add-ons, who's writing the code, where they're being hosted, all that sort of stuff. So I always just uninstall the forked versions that come pre-installed on these Android TV boxes. And I get the standard version of Kodi that I get from the Kodi website. I download the APK and sideload them. So I had no difficulties doing that with this particular device. Before we jump into Kodi and play a couple of videos, I just wanted to show you in the settings here. If we go down to the About section, so again, it's the S95, that's an Alfawise S95, and it is running Android version 7.1.2, which is what's advertised on GearBest.com. Sometimes, I know that some people have reported that the version of Android that is advertised on the website isn't actually what the box is running when they pull it out of the box, but this one does, so I'm happy with that. The other thing I should mention, and I don't believe I mentioned it before, is that this guy is running the S905 chip. It's supposed to be pretty good. I'm not too well versed on the different SoCs that these little Android boxes use, but from what I've read, it seems to be one of the better ones. I have an R-Box Pro, which runs the S912. Was always very happy with that. The S905, I guess, is a step down, but it seems pretty fluid. And again, it's got 2 GB of RAM, so as I'm flicking through here, it's very, very responsive. I flick to my Air Mouse, that's very responsive. Everything seems pretty good. It's got this little memory recycle thing up in the corner. If I hit that, on some of my other boxes, it tells me how much RAM is being used at the moment, and then how much, it kind of, after you do the little recycle or clear thing or whatever, it tells you how much you've reclaimed. This one just tells you how much you've reclaimed, so I'm not really sure how much it's using at the moment, but let's fire up Kodi. So as you can see, I got 17.6. Again, I sideloaded this, but you can, I would imagine, just get it through Google Play, and you can see here that there are no add-ons. So again, that's why I typically uninstall the forked versions that come pre-installed, because it's got a ton of add-ons. You just don't know what the permissions are and all that sort of stuff. So just to be safe, I uninstall those forked versions and just install the vanilla, whatever you want to call it, the original version of Kodi. So one of the things that I wanted to show you was some sample videos. Now, this particular box, I always look for boxes that run that are capable of playing back X265 videos. So those are the HEVC, which stands for High Efficiency Video Coding. They are able to maintain sort of the visual fidelity at very, very small file sizes. So I really I look for boxes that can play X265 files. I have a server in my house. I tend to lean towards X265. Anytime I rip a DVD or a Blu-ray or whatever, it's always an X265 because again, you can get high quality videos at a much smaller file size. So all my boxes, anything I ever get, has to be able to play back X265. And a lot of them claim that they do. However, performance-wise, I've had boxes in the past where some of them don't really deliver. So it's always good to give it a quick test run. So I'll just show you one of these files now. It's Big Buck Bunny. It's a little couple seconds from that movie. This is a 4K video file, and this is in X265 or HEVC coding. So let's just play that quick. There's no sound on these video files, so don't be freaked out there. But it looks good. No stuttering, no nothing. So let's stop that one. And now we're having issues. Well, not sure what happened there. Let's try that again. So I tried to stop the file, and it looked like it stuttered a little bit. Let me try it again. All right, no issues there. Maybe it was just a bit of a hiccup. Cross my fingers. Anyway, didn't experience that before. Now I'm a bit freaked out. But anyway, let's try another one. Let's see how this one goes. So it seems to be going okay. Yeah, so no hiccuping here, no tearing, no pixelation. So it looks all right. These are all 1080 files, by the way. Let's try the tractor here. Okay, so again, no problems when I stop it. No problems replaying it. I think what happened was maybe it was just a bit of a hiccup when I played the Big Buck Bunny sample before. But anyway, as you can see, this guy can more than handle HEVC X265 video files, so there's no issues there. Overall, I mean, I haven't really played around with it that much. I've probably had it on for about a half hour to an hour, just sort of configuring it and everything like that. I've had no issues with it. It hooked up to my Wi-Fi, no problem. Has a stable connection. I was able to sideload Kodi. Everything seems to be working nicely. I don't know if you can see it. Probably not, because I can't see it in my viewfinder, but the time is being displayed on my TV box, so that's always good. I don't know if I'll really be able to see it from my couch, but that's neither here nor there. Overall, I think that the Alfawise S95 box is a steal. Like I said, it is about $25 to $30 on GearBest if you can find it that cheap. I think normally it's around $40, $45, but I got mine on sale for about 25 bucks. I think that's fantastic value for what it is, and I would recommend it if you can get it that cheap. I think if you have to fork over about 45 US dollars, there might be better ones that you can get, but I mean, for the $25 to $30 price range, I think that the Alfawise S95 box, based on how fluid it seems to perform and the files that I've thrown at it, it doesn't seem to have any issues playing any of them. So I would definitely recommend this one if you can get it on sale around $25 to $30. If you're paying more than that, then there might be some others that you might be better off with. But if you can get it on sale, I think it's a hard one to say no to. But anyway, if you like this video, click the little thumbs up button. Don't forget to subscribe, share it on social media, whatever. Really help me out. Until next time, this has been Gizmo Joe. Take it easy.